Good day, artificers. Now, if I got the timing right, today should be the day that Aeronautica Imperialis hits the stores. And as usual, I'm going to do a unboxing and give you my opinions through the eyes of a kit basher and a painter. So, before we crack this open, let's have a look at the packaging. It's pretty nice. I really like the aesthetic they've gone for Aeronautica Imperialis. There's this real sort of a retro future type of I suppose you could almost call it diesel punk, or maybe sort of a cross between steampunk and diesel punk, where you've got this sort of romantic aesthetic of World War II fighter pilots. I really like that. So what you have is the nice artwork on the front, and then the mock-ups of your miniatures on the back with the playmat as well as the box contents. Now, the way they've sort of marketed this is sort of as a stand-alone set, which means that it's almost like a board game where you could buy this and then just enjoy it with your friends, sort of like at a birthday party or something. So that's pretty nice. And then you can then expand it into sort of all the way to a 40k level. Now, on the box it says that this can each game can span anywhere between 20 minutes to up to 3 to 4 hours. So I think it's 30 minutes to about 3 to 4 hours. So that's sort of quite variable in the sense that you can sort of do quick games like a lunchtime game with friends, or you can do like a whole afternoon of gaming. It appears that you've got two playmats, or at least the double-sided. You've got sort of an urban-looking playmat and the sort of open field desert terrain, and they call them areas of engagement. So that's what they're called. Now, without any further delay, let's crack this open and see what we have inside the box. You can see this is the first time I'm opening the box. I've not had a look inside this game yet, and I'm pretty excited. I was quite pumped about this game. I really wanted to do the Imperial Thunderbolt fighters in the style of the Macross Skull and Bones Jolly Roger markings. So that's something I'll definitely be doing, and you might see that in a future video or on my Instagram. So off the bat, with the bubble wrap put aside, what we have are your bases, your 6-sided dice, and a fair number of sprues. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues of plastic. You've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 flying stands. I'm not sure yet if they come with the equivalent number of bases, but it does appear to be packed with 9 minis in total. So here's sort of an intro sheet. You've got your rule book nicely wrapped in plastic. You've got counters, they're numbered from 1 to 8. You've got movement diagrams and a quick reference sheet. I had a look at some of the intro videos for this, and there seem to be quite a number of sort of tactical mechanics where you can choose a certain type of maneuver, or a certain category of maneuver, and then surprise your opponent by performing them during the game. So those are hidden maneuvers. You've got your playmats, and pretty nice. I especially like this urban playmat. They're very nice illustrations for that. I think it could almost be done in, it might be done in like a 3D render, and then they've got sort of this kind of a digital readout type of effect, if you can see that. You've got Orc and Imperial markings, very nice. Those tiny little flame markings. I was afraid that I would have to freehand flames, but Seems like I'm not going to have to. And finally, the rulebook, which I will read later, and then there is the all-important instruction book, which I'm obviously not going to read because, as you know, I cannot read. But let's just have a look at the pretty pictures. So, another quick reference sheet. So it appears to come with 2 reference sheets, or did I accidentally? Oh yeah, okay. So we've got 2 reference sheets in total, one for each player, I suppose. And then you've got instructions for your Thunderbolt, Marauder, Attacker Jet, Fighter Bomber, and your pretty pictures. They're pretty straightforward, 9 steps, I could do that. And then your, I want to say full color, your full color rulebook. So everything you need to run a game is already in this box. But now, let's have a look at our sprues. So what do we have here? We have 5 sprues, your Imperial and your Orc sprues are pretty obvious, pretty easy to tell apart. You've got your, let's see, what do I have in total? So, I will have in total 3 Darker Jets, 2 Fighter Bombers, which I believe are here. So if I see the fuselage of my Darker Jets with their wings here, 1, 2, 3. Your Fighter Bombers, 2 here. 2 Marauder Bombers and 2 Thunderbolt Fighters, which are here. Your Marauder Bombers, I believe. Nope, these are the fighters. So 2 Thunderbolt Fighters and your 2 Marauder Bombers. And they do look pretty big. This is probably your turrets for your Marauder Bombers. And they do come with options, I believe. I will have to look at the instructions. For that Marauder Bomber. And here we are. You do have options for your turrets, which is quite fun. I really like that. Hopefully there will be a way for me to magnetize this. It does look like it will have, they both need component B9, so I might not be able to have those options, but we'll see about that. So those are the pieces that go on the front and rear end. So let's have a closer look, starting with Thunderbolt Fighters. Already I can see that they are very detailed. I love these panels on the sprues, on the wings, and you've got a fair amount of detail. This is very, very nice. This is in the scale of Adeptus Titanica, so they're going to scale perfectly with the Titanicus models, which actually begs the question, can I do Valkyrie fighters? As in, can I make fighter planes with Titan legs? And that will be an interesting project, and then I can run the same mini for both games. But we'll see. These are pretty nice. You've got bombs, you've got missiles, and then what appears to be optional weapons as well. So we can have a closer look, sort of an assault cannon type and an autocannon type of weapon. And we'll see the corresponding ones here. So those and those, Thunderbolt Fighter, Thunderbolt Fury, those are the options. Again, it doesn't appear that I can do them as options, but we'll see. I think in this case I can, because your components are actually different items, so I can swap can probably swap them out. So that's very, very nice. Again, these are very simple. Both the bombs and the missiles are used on the model simultaneously, so I won't have to magnetize bombs and missiles. So closer look for you, so that you can consider what can be done. Already in some of these sprues, I see some interesting components. For example, let's move on to the next sprue. That's our Marauder bomber. So already I saw parts like this that can be actually kit bashed into jetpacks or grav chutes for your Imperial Guard, which might be quite interesting to explore. Marauder bombers are chunky boys. They have very, very broad, large wings and very nice detail. You've got a nice visual language that's very reminiscent of your sort of industrial age, a lot of rivets. So I really like that. You've got lots of little engines. Again, probably good for kit bashing. If you don't want to get this set for the game, you can get this for the bits. I would highly recommend getting this for the bits. Actually, they're pretty nice. Excuse me for the light. I'm having some issues with my camera light. I'm not sure, so it might go on and off. I'll try and correct it in post as much as I can. And again, here we have, whoa, there's a bit of a shake. And here we have parts for the Marauder bomber, and let's see whether they are optional parts or not. So there are bomb components for your Marauder, and you do have variant assembly, so that's what that means. So you can swap them out for these sort of, they look like air-to-air missiles, so I suppose these are the sort of air-to-ground variant and the air-to-air variant right there. That seems pretty nice. So these are the parts that you have for the Marauder bomber. I don't think you can kit bash these with 40k scale, but maybe you could put together some kind of a jet bike even for your Imperial Guardsmen. That might be sort of an interesting option as well. So wow, actually fair number of things that we could explore with this as a kit bashing set. But that's what we have for the Imperial side. Let's have a look at what we have for Orcs now. So for the Orcs, you've got your 3 Dakar jets and your 2 fighter bombers. Let's look at the Dakar jets first. In terms of plastic, it does seem that the Orcs have less plastic material than the Imperials do, but they have more units in terms of unit count, and 3 of them are these Dakar jets, which look pretty nice. They do have slight variations in design among the different cockpit styles. You've got 2 of them here, you've got 1 more there. I really like this, almost like a Stuka bomber cockpit frame. I really like that. And again, variants in the engine style. You can see a lot of work has been put in to create a fair amount of variety in the Dakar jets, which I think is really worth the price. This box set is already rather affordable as far as Games Workshop games go, and I think this is a pretty good buy, even if you are getting it just for the minis. You can look at those. Lots and lots of tiny missiles, lots of variation in design, which I'm very happy with, and I'm very excited to find out how that fits in. So let's look at the pictures. So they are variations. It's item 2 and 3, and they attach. Where do they attach? Okay, they attach to the nose cone. So you do have some kind of variant of nose cone. That's actually quite nice. So there are closed nose cones as well as that nice sort of F86 Super Sabre type of open front jet engine. I really like that style, so I'm not sure if I have enough components for every single style. So there's your open nose, there's the closed one, and there's a shark mouth. Looks like we're only gonna have enough parts for one of each, which is a shame, but then we do still have a fair amount of options because then you can mix and match them with the different cockpits. I'm gonna have fun with this. This is gonna be a pretty fun kit. Might try and light them up as well later on, so that will be an exciting thing to look at. Fighter bombers 2, fuselage 1, fuselage 2. Again, sort of a nice variation in design. You've got an angular cockpit here, almost like it's looted from an imperial vehicle, and then you've got a round one here. They tend to be quite symmetrical though, but that's fine. You've still got some nice variants, very slight variants in the different components. You've even got a sort of a big tail and a small tail. And it does appear that you will have those options for the big tail and small tail. Right? So that's the longer one, that's the shorter one. And they both look pretty good. Again, a whole bunch of bombs. That might even be a landing gear, which is quite interesting. So very nice. You've got sort of a retracted landing gear. I really like that. That's so cool. Nice attention to detail. Pretty happy with this set. Those are your shooters, sort of heavy shooter type weapons. Got engine parts and everything. So pretty happy with the fighter bomber, especially. I think this might be my favorite mini in the entire set, and maybe the darker jets as well, simply because of the very nice nose cones that they've offered. So these are all variants. Wow, that's a lot. This is a lot of magnetizing. Wow, gonna have a hell of a time doing that. But all in all, very nice set. Can't wait to start putting them together. Might incorporate this into some of my future projects. You'll definitely see at least one of these miniatures with LEDs, and you'll definitely see at least one of them with big explosion and cloud effects. I think it's going to be quite fun to put these guys together. So thank you all. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please consider visiting my Patreon linked below. And as always, take care and bye bye.